The courtroom was completely silent when my late husband's children demanded every mansion, every company, every dollar, and every family asset. My own lawyer whispered that if I surrendered now, I would lose everything we had built together. I looked straight at him and calmly said, "Give them every single thing." The entire courtroom thought I had lost my mind. Then the lawyer opened the final page of my husband's last instructions, and every face in the room turned white. "My name is Evelyn. 5 years before my husband Charles died, I never imagined I would become the center of the biggest inheritance battle our city had ever seen." Charles was one of the country's most respected business leaders. He owned companies, luxury homes, investments, and charities that had taken decades to build. People admired his success, but very few understood the sacrifices behind it. When I married Charles, many people believed I was only interested in his money. The loudest critics were his two adult children, Daniel and Sophia. They never accepted me. Every family gathering became another opportunity for them to question my intentions. Charles always defended me, but he also hoped one day his children would finally understand that I truly loved him. As Charles grew older, his health slowly declined. I spent countless nights beside his hospital bed. I attended every doctor's appointment. I managed his medications and continued helping him with company decisions when he became too weak to work. His children rarely visited. They were busy enjoying expensive vacations, luxury cars, and the lifestyle their father's success had provided. One evening, Charles asked everyone to leave his hospital room except me. He held my hand and thanked me for never abandoning him. He told me something that changed everything. He said people only reveal their true character when money enters the conversation. I did not fully understand what he meant until after his funeral. The funeral attracted politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and hundreds of employees. Everyone praised Charles for his generosity. Daniel and Sophia stood in front of the cameras crying about losing their father. Behind closed doors, they immediately began asking about the will before the flowers had even started to fade. Only 3 days later, I received legal papers. They were suing me for everything: the companies, the family homes, the investment accounts, the artwork, even personal gifts Charles had given me during our marriage. According to them, I had manipulated their father into changing his estate plan. The media exploded with headlines. Television hosts debated whether I was a gold digger. Social media users judged me without knowing any facts. My photograph appeared everywhere beside words like greedy widow and fortune hunter. Friends stopped calling because they feared becoming part of the controversy. My lawyer Michael assured me we could win. He had handled inheritance disputes for decades and believed the evidence clearly supported Charles's wishes. He warned me that surrendering would destroy everything my husband had worked to protect. The trial finally began. Every hearing attracted reporters. Daniel confidently described himself as the rightful heir. Sophia cried while telling the judge she deserved everything because she was family. They painted me as a stranger who appeared late in Charles's life only to steal his empire. Then my turn came to speak. Instead of attacking them, I calmly described my years caring for Charles. I showed medical records, travel schedules, and messages proving I stayed beside him through every difficult moment. I never insulted his children. I simply told the truth. As the trial continued, something unexpected happened. Former employees began testifying. Nurses spoke about who actually visited Charles in the hospital. Business partners explained who attended meetings when Charles became too ill. Every witness quietly confirmed the same story. Still, Daniel and Sophia refused to back down. They demanded every asset and insisted nothing less would satisfy them. During one break, my lawyer pulled me aside. His voice shook as he asked if I truly understood the risks. He said if the judge believed even part of their accusations, the outcome could become unpredictable. That was when I smiled and quietly answered, "Give them every single thing." Michael stared at me in complete disbelief. He thought stress had broken me. He begged me to reconsider. But I simply repeated the same words. The courtroom resumed. The judge asked if I wished to continue fighting for ownership of the estate. I stood up and clearly announced that I was willing to give Daniel and Sophia every mansion, every company, every investment, every account, and every valuable possession they had demanded. Gasps echoed across the courtroom. The reporters rushed to send breaking news alerts. Daniel and Sophia smiled with confidence, believing victory had finally arrived. Even the judge looked surprised. My lawyer slowly reached into his briefcase. Before signing the transfer documents, he asked permission to read one final document Charles had left under strict instructions. The judge agreed. Michael unfolded the final sealed letter. Charles had written it 6 months before his death. In the letter, Charles explained that his children had repeatedly refused responsibility despite receiving endless opportunities. He described years of financial rescue after poor decisions. He explained that true leadership required humility, sacrifice, and integrity rather than entitlement. Then came the final instruction. Any heir who chose lawsuits over reconciliation would automatically inherit every business together with every debt, every outstanding legal obligation, every employee contract, every tax responsibility, every loan guarantee, and every future financial liability connected to those companies. Meanwhile, every personal asset specifically intended for his wife had already been transferred months earlier into an independent, protected trust completely outside the disputed estate. The courtroom became completely silent. Daniel's confident smile disappeared. Sophia looked at her attorney in panic. The businesses appeared valuable from the outside, but several were entering expensive expansion projects carrying enormous financial obligations that required experienced leadership. Without proper management, they could collapse. Charles knew only someone willing to serve rather than simply inherit could protect thousands of employees depending on those businesses. The children suddenly realized they had fought desperately for responsibilities they neither understood nor wanted. Their lawyers urgently requested a recess.